What's up, people? I'm Steven, the Nashville board game guy.
And I'm Dano, the Huzzah King. Huzzah.
And we just got done playing a game called Imminent Peril. It is a creative, chaotic survival storytelling game, and it's going to see the players at the table. You're going to be participating in one another's stories, creating perilous, shall I say, deadly situations that are going to be driving the story forward, and you're just trying to take your fellow friend down a notch. But yeah, Daniel, what are the specs with this game?
The specs is for 3 to 6 players, 14 and up, and it runs about 30 to 90 minutes depending on the player count and how many rounds you want to go.
Yeah, and how long you are talking and telling your story.
Yes,
so,
that is true too.
Yeah, so in this game, at the very beginning, you're going to be drawing 4 cards. You're going to draw a hazard card, a location card, a quirk card, and a menace card. And the cards are kind of like, there's like 10 words on each card. You're going to take a D10, you're going to roll it, and it's going to be setting the stage for you, kind of to show you what you're walking into. But Daniel, what did we actually get in this?
Our hazard card was enchanted. The location was park. The quirk was distractible, and the menace was a jumbo jellyfish. So basically, we were in an enchanted park with distractible jumbo jellyfish.
That's right.
Distractible jellyfish. Come on, let's go. I love it.
Yeah. We rolled. That's what we went into the game with, and we were like, all right. And then from there, we got to kind of create our character. Who were we walking into this enchanted water park with jumbo?
We created our character, and we also set a little bit of groundwork for like what was the world like? Was it everyone for themselves in the water park? Were there any like traps, any other things around? So basically, it turned out into like it was like an arena, a gladiatorial arena, and everyone is for themselves. And of course, my character was just kind of chilling out in the concession stands because he was there to support another contestant.
I'm here supporting, like, you know, Grimfang, the jellyfish rider. I don't know.
His favorite rider, Grimfang.
My favorite rider, Grimfang.
Yep, and you didn't have a name.
I did not. There's no name.
No name for this guy. Yeah, my guy's name was Jonathan.
What was your name again?
Oh, I was Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Yeah, pun.
Finn.
Jonathan. But more to come about Jonathan.
Yes.
More of my story is going to be told. I'm going to let you guys know about me because some crazy stuff went down. But,
crazy.
So from there, what you're going to do is there's going to be kind of a layout of cards, and each player has a different symbol reflecting on who they are. So I think I had like a bird on my card, and then directly below your cards, or all the cards of the players, there's going to be another card below them that's going to show which player you're going to add some peril to their story. So what happens, there's a first player, and they're going to get to kind of tell what's going to happen to your character. So like Daniel was saying, when you walk in, you're kind of setting the grounds of, I said, oh, I'm Jonathan. I walked into, you know, this beautiful pool, and there's all these jellyfish, and one just kind of, you know, just kind of bops on up in the water, and I kind of slide on top, and I said, Jonathan's he's actually here. He thinks it's a Marco Polo tournament. And he's calling out, Marco! And just waiting for someone to say polo, right?
I got lost. I got to the wrong place. I thought I was going to go to a professional Marco Polo, arena, but I got sent to the Jellyfish Aquatic Park. So, and I don't know what to do.
I'm at the wrong thing. So that was kind of the joke going on with Jonathan.
Oh, and just so you know that everybody there, the participants, were riding jellyfish.
Yes.
Jousting on jellyfish.
Jellyfish jousting was starting, yeah. So this was our story. Your story is going to look completely different. So every game you play of this is going to tell a wildly different story that's very freeform and flowing. It's allowing you to be creative and allowing you to take out the players, and specifically the card that's below you during that turn. So you're going to look at that card, you're going to look at who the player is. They've talked a little bit about what they're saying. Like I said, I went and sat down on a jellyfish. They're going to take that little bit of information, and they're going to drive forward your story. So Daniel, what did you do to me in this story?
My guy was there watching a character named Grimfang. So that's not, that was part of kind of my story. Like, oh, I'm watching this. I'm there supporting this other contestant who's was
kind of a muscly, strong guy.
With had a trident.
And
so basically, I set it up to where I'm describing what Steven's character is going through. So, he shows up. He's not really an expert. He doesn't compete in this. He's there for Marco Polo. Jumps on a jellyfish, and he is, likes animals and just becomes friendly with the jellyfish and is, petting it and, giving it smooches, and he is distracted and he's not paying attention to the other fighters.
Off in the distance, you just hear this like guttural, as this one of the contestants goes down, and there is a individual on a jellyfish. Water just dripping off him, glistening in the sun, and he's holding a trident. It is Grimfang the Relentless. He sees you, and he knows that you don't belong here. And he charges at you, his trident, out in front, ready to just run you through.
Get a big old fork full of Jonathan.
Yes.
Yep.
And so that's kind of where it ends, you know? Like, I set up the story, and I said, so I'm leaving him, like, in peril. Like, something bad is about
something
to
bad
happen.
is going to happen to me.
Yes.
And each player is going to go through where they're going to describe something bad that's going to happen with the card of the player that's representing who's below them, who they're trying to knock down a little bit or just take out. So after that, every character has 5 cards in their hand, and they're going to be your ability cards. You're going to look through your ability cards, and you're going to be like, save me, because this is what's going to get you out of a tight spot.
Yes.
Yeah, so... Example, my first ability card, I looked at it and there was multiple ones to look at, right? I chose Possession because I was like, how am I going to get out of this thing? Well, Possession made it to where it's like I locked eyes on Grimfang, I leapt out of my body into his, and all this, you're kind of embellishing. You're telling it like a fun story. That's what you're here for. You're telling a fun story.
Yeah, a lot of improv.
You're
being just creative,
on the spot. Having a blast with that. And so I jumped into Grimfang.
And before I know it, the trident has pierced into my old body. And I look, and I don't know what to feel as I see my old self slumping down and the water turning red. And I go to catch it, and I hold it in my arms, and I stare into my old eyes. And then I look at the muscles that I have, and I think, my God.
And so everyone gets to explain with their card that they're adding to it, with their ability, how are you going to get out of it? And sometimes... you might have a card that just flat out doesn't work in the situation you're in. And you're just really trying to pivot. Really trying to make it work as hard as you can. So
And what you can do, so you either play a card out of your hand, or you can discard a card and top deck from the ability deck. But if you do that, you have to immediately... that's the card you have to play.
That's a risky play.
And it is. And I think I did that...
you did it twice,
I might have
maybe?
did a couple... I did it at least once or twice.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, I don't know what to play on my turn. And so I just top decked it.
He just top decked it. And you don't know what you're going to get. You just play...
and it was great, though. When I pulled, I was like, yeah, this is great.
And sometimes it's hilarious because you're on the spot having to come up with that thing of how you're surviving or how you're getting out of this tight spot. But so after that, after people play their ability cards during the survival phase, there's going to be a vote phase. So we played 4 rounds. We played the point system. You can play elimination. I really enjoyed the point system. It's where you basically listen to everyone go through their story. And then from there, you're going to make a vote of who basically gave a really lame, weak excuse of how they're trying to survive this thing. You're like, that didn't quite work. So everyone, you count off 1, 2, 3, and you cast a vote for the player who did the worst, basically explaining how they're going to survive.
Yes.
So,
and then the person with the most points has to then describe the events, but they come out with like an injury or something bad happens to them. So they survive, but it's like they don't come out unscathed, whereas everyone else does.
And that sticks with them. Whatever happened to them, what happened to all of our characters has to stick with you. So that's one of the rules in the game is that first off, you're there to have fun. You can't you can't call down Daniel
like a meteor.
Yeah.
So you can't do things like massive, like, oh, I'm going to just blow up the earth, and everyone dies. No, like the whole point of is having fun, but you kind of have boundaries, in regards to like there's not really like a lot of rules, but you got to kind of be realistic,
the cards
in a
definitely
make-believe, imaginative world. But the cards help drive that.
They help drive and help also for people that might be in a pinch with trying to think of what to say or do otherwise. People that might struggle with improv or people that might struggle with just something on the spot. These cards can help you kind of have a direction to go towards.
And as you're creating these scenarios, you're not making something that's impossible for the person to get out of. Like you're just setting up a scenario that then they have to kind of follow up with like surviving using their cards.
That's kind of the flow of the round. And then what happens is the first player marker goes to the next player. And the cards all, I believe they go to the left for the next person you're going to tell their perilous story. So that all changes around too. So
and then we did a recap. So we were like, hey, so where was everybody at, last we left off?
Which is super helpful.
Which is good because there's so much information and so much storytelling happening. I mean, there was times I was like, maybe I should have a notebook writing things down. Not necessary because, you're just grabbing the highlights.
Right. So that's kind of the structure of the game,
How it
how
goes.
the game flows. So I think we can go right to our first impressions.
Yeah,
Daniel,
let's
do you
go.
want to go first?
Yeah, I will go first.
You shall.
I enjoyed it. I love. I'm a big fan of Dungeons and Dragons,
Yep.
role playing games.
You're my GM slash
I
DM.
did. I got
Yeah.
Steven into it
Yep.
and had
This
some
guy,
great
his fault.
D&D. Yeah, and we never finished the campaign yet.
We didn't.
One
day.
One day. But I love D&D. I love creating. I love world building. That's probably from me. I love
Yeah.
world building and creating this world that everyone's in. And so
Yep.
for this, it's like it's group storytelling. You're working together. It's basically grown up make believe, and so you know you're just it's just improv. You're just creating these really crazy, wild stories and tales, and you're not locked in by rules. Where I like D&D, it makes sense that there are rules for doing certain things, but with this, it's very free form, and you're like, if you can come up with it, you can pretty much do it. And that's what's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And so there's some really crazy, silly things that just come out of it. And I mean, for anyone that is into improv, I think really would enjoy it. But also, I think people that have never done improv or D&D, you would probably give it a shot because there's not really pressure because you're
Right.
just playing make-believe.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So it's
Grown up
great.
make-believe.
Make-believe with some cards,
Yeah.
and a few dice.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, so for me, I was really surprised how much fun I had. I enjoy improv. I loved doing like drama and acting in high school. But like Daniel was saying, what I think I could see this for other people that don't like that, because sometimes it's like, let me take myself out of the picture here.
Yeah.
Let me think about, my mom or my wife. It's like people that might not enjoy this. I think that the card system is super helpful, how it's driving you somewhere, how you have choice in front of you to try to take your story somewhere. We had some epic laughs in this game.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. This is a game that we are never going to forget when we walk away from it.
Yeah.
It was a blast. Yeah. So I had a lot of fun with this game. I love the stories
Same.
that were created. I got a couple of times. You kept voting for me, by the way, too. Every time we would do the who did the worst description of how they survived, I was like, I just killed that. I did so good.
Okay.
And then the Daniels vote, me.
Except,
I was like, what?
Okay, the first time I voted for you,
Yeah.
I was trying to feel out how this was supposed to work.
Okay.
But the second
Thanks
time I
a
voted
lot.
for, I mean, it's just us. We always go against each
Yeah.
other when we play games
We do.
anyhow, by accident most of the
Yeah.
time. The second time was because this is the thing, as you are describing your stories, the reason that you place your votes on people is because they might give some information that you're like, oh, you said that, and because you said that, that's why I'm voting for you, because that's going to cause issues with your story.
I did that
and
a
your
couple
escape.
of times.
And you did.
I
because-
created further peril for myself.
Yeah.
Let's do some highlights of some things that happened to us in the game.
Yeah.
So in the game,
Talk about trident.
a trident was coming at my face, coming to just fall right down upon
Yep.
my head. And I played an ability that I had a secret weapon, part of my body could turn into a weapon that I didn't even know about. And I turned it into like a T1, was it T1000?
Yeah, T1000.
T1000, Terminator blade arm.
Yep.
And I just cut the thing in half. But I said right after that, and then it like magical explosion above my head. And they're like, what? You said magical explosion?
Yep.
I was like, I didn't. Did I? And they're like,
Yeah,
oh, you did. And I was like,
and
oops.
that's why I voted for you that time,
Yeah.
because I was like, oh, you set yourself up. That
Right.
like,
But
so-
it's got those fun moments where
Yeah,
you're
so you-
taking those cards and creating something really
Yeah.
cool out of it. But Daniel, what's one that happened to you?
let's see. I had become friends with a squid that was underground.
Yeah.
That was eating the contestants during the whirlpool moment. Yeah, there's just too much to
I almost
explain
feel
with
like we
that.
need to give them like a really short,
one.
brief description of what happened, like the
no,
Cliff Notes
no,
version.
no. Just leave it. We don't want
Yeah.
to give them too much.
Yeah, that's true.
And
You'll get to create your own
and
cool
so,
story.
So yeah, exactly. I'd become friends with this squid.
You did.
And was doing a shanty with it or something. And then you made a parasite come out of the squid.
I did.
And go into my body.
Yeah, it was
into my
really
mouth, into
creepy.
my body. And so my escape was, so the card that I played was
Oddly specific training.
Yes, that's what it was, the training. I had trained my body to do certain things, and what I trained it to do was to unhinge my jaw like a serpent and then like widen my throat. So I was able to reach down and pull the parasite out of my body.
Oh, such a gross
so
moment.
it was. But that was
But
one of those
I applauded.
fun
I was like-
moments where I was like, what do I didn't know. I was like, what do I do with this?
Yeah, because that was my peril for him. I got to say how the parasite crawled into his mouth and was into
was
his
epic.
stomach. And I was like, I got you now. And then he did that, and I was like, well done,
Yeah.
my friend. But yeah, I feel like we had a really good run through
We did.
talking
It
about
was great.
this game. We had a
It was
blast,
fun, yeah.
and it's a memory I'm never going to forget.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm glad you're in that memory with me.
I am too.
So,
Always.
friends to the end,
Yes,
even if
to
we're
the
trying to
end.
get us into each other into perilous
Exactly.
situations. But that is Imminent Peril. We definitely recommend it.
We do.
I look forward. I want to play it again. And
Yeah.
hopefully we can soon. So
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And before we leave, I have a question for you and our viewers.
You do.
I do.
I would love to hear it.
So speaking of when you talk about make believe, as a child, I played make believe a lot, pretending I was all kinds of different characters and stuff.
Okay.
So, Steven,
Yes.
when you were a kid, what was a character that you enjoyed pretending to be?
I got you. I would love to romp and stomp around. I pretended to be Godzilla.
Oh,
And specifically Godzilla 1985 because he was the scary, dark Godzilla. Was that who you are?
no, I wasn't going to say that, but that was a memory that just popped up in my head.
Absolutely,
I was like, oh, that's
Godzilla.
so good.
Godzilla 1985 is the one I was equally scared of and I admired.
Yeah.
So, but Daniel, who did you like to pretend to be?
So for me, oh man, there's so many characters. I like to pretend that I was Rambo.
Really? I've still never seen Rambo.
That's crazy. Yeah. For some reason, I always pretended I was Rambo and
Okay.
I was
Saving
escaping
people,
the
escaping.
Vietnamese people.
Okay.
Which was weird.
Yeah, there
So,
you go. Just running around with
Yeah.
like a bandana around your head.
Yeah, and pretending the plastic baseball bats were like machine guns
Wow.
and bazookas. Yeah,
I was not allowed to watch these things.
I was.
I was allowed to watch Godzilla 1985.
Well, that's the thing.
but comment below who you pretended to be as a child. That great interactive imagination.
Exactly.
That's hopefully still alive today. Never let go of that.
Never let go.
Let us know. Comment below.
And hit like and subscribe.
Yes, that thing too. Don't forget. All right, guys. We'll see you.
Huzzah!